the reason I'm doing it is because there are some basic ideas that I want to get across, and his suggestion was, well, why don't you sit down in this little studio here and have a sales on Fireside Chat, haha. So I thought, okay, it's not a bad idea. Let's roll with it and see what we come up with. And I really struggled with what I wanted to talk with you about, because I've been in the internet marketing world for 3 frickin' years, and that was after 15 years of real-world executive experience. And I've become very frustrated with a lot of things in the internet marketing world. And most of that comes down to you as an individual and a newbie. There are things that you just don't understand, and I realize you just got in here and maybe you don't have a lot of business background or anything like that. So I'm going to try and deliver this information without trying to be, too mean about it or anything like that. However, I do want you to understand that if you don't commit to your idea and stick with it and believe in yourself, you're never going to get anywhere. You're never going to get anywhere. And that's something that when you're looking for a mentor or coach or something like that, that you want to be aware of. If the coach, like myself, is somebody who's been there, done it, and goes, yeah, your idea isn't really that out of the ordinary, believe me, you may think it is, but we don't, we've seen it. And we have full confidence in your idea. When you come running back a month later saying, I'm sure, I don't know if this is going to work, that upsets me anyway. I get a physically discomforting feeling in my stomach when somebody says, is this going to work, and needs that level of reassurance. If you don't believe that it's going to work, don't start. Don't do it. That's probably the biggest piece of advice that I have for you. And I got started online in the Warrior Forum, and I didn't do it, let's say, deliberately. I didn't choose the Warrior Forum over anything else. I just simply heard of the Warrior Forum, and I ended up in a situation where I had to create a revenue stream from customers who were outside of the local area I was in. The locals could not afford my help, nor did they have a real need for it. It's just too high level and too sophisticated for what they need in the middle of farm town USA. So one of the first things that I did on the Warrior Forum was spend 3 months just delivering value. That's all I did, was answered people's questions. Post after post after post for a few hours every night. My wife told me, you're an idiot, you're wasting your time. Well, what this did was create pent-up demand and also a high level of authority. When people saw me posting after those 3 months, they looked, regardless of what I had to say or what the topic was. They wanted to see what I had to say. And that's where you want to get to, that level of expertise. And so that was in the fall of 2011. In the spring or winter of 2012, I guess January, February, I opened up my first WSO, and it was a $27 half-hour call. I should have never offered it. It ended up hurting my voice. I had to deliver so many of these calls. It was very popular. I don't offer low-level or low-priced products anymore. And even at the $300 level, $297, people would complain, oh, it's so high. I got to say, if you don't have $500 to invest in your business, you don't have a business. You better go find a job and come back to this later, because it's not for you. It's just not for you. And you may not like to hear that. That's the brutal truth. This is something that we need to look at. Don't try and get a cheap solution. Don't try and go for the $7 WSO, because it's not going to work. It is not going to work for you. Oh, you might be able to make a little bit of money at it, but chances are the person who put it together doesn't really know what they're talking about. Or there's some 22-year-old who just made their first $1,000 and now want to broadcast this to the world like it's some sort of amazing thing. It's not. There's nothing incredible about it. There's nothing sustainable or repeatable about it. And that's what I teach people to do, is to create a sustainable, repeatable income stream based on timeless process steps. And if you haven't got the energy or the interest in learning those process steps and struggling with them and applying yourself to them until they become a natural response that you don't even have to think about, you're simply not going to make it. Now, I want to cover an idea here which will sound startling to many marketers. You don't need my system. You don't need my specific system. I like it if you get it, and that's cool, and I'll enjoy working with you probably, but you don't need my specific system. You can go out there and make anything work, provided that you're committed to it. The problem with newbies and even people who have been in internet marketing for 4, 5, 8 years, who just say, I keep trying things, I buy into the next WSO and it just doesn't work over and over again. Really? You tried 15 things and none of them worked? Really? Something's wrong with you at that point. I have to tell you. Again, not going to make me popular, but it's true. If you tried 15 things and none of them worked, something's wrong with your approach. You did not commit to them. You did not execute them correctly. And again, you're not going to like to hear that, but that's a fact. The corollary of that is, I mean, out of 15, 1 or 2 ought to work, don't you think? If you commit to them and follow the process steps and do what needs doing. And yeah, maybe you do need to adjust that approach a little bit for yourself, for your own needs, your own market, your own product, your own service. That's fine. But the truth of the matter is, in my experience over the last 3 years working with newbie internet marketers, very, very few people stick with it. So now that I've gotten past that, I want to talk to you a little bit about a solution. Now, I can't motivate you. Okay? I learned this when I was 25 years old and a plant manager for the first time. I can't motivate other people. No one can. You have to motivate yourself. And if you're not motivated, again, go get a job, because this isn't for you. Being self-employed is very, very difficult. There's so many financial ups and downs. You don't know where the money's coming every month just about. And even when you're consistent, there's still unexpected things that pop up in a way that a job will never do to you unless you get fired or something or laid off unexpectedly. But you know, you're going to get punched in the face for at least a couple years if you're going to choose this self-employed route. So be ready for that. You might get lucky. Things might take off for you really fast. I don't know. Hasn't for me, I can tell you that. And I'm generally regarded as doing pretty well in this field. If I can clear away the cobwebs of some of these baloney delusions of fast riches and things like that for you, you know, without any effort on your behalf, then this video has done its job. This chat has done its job. So instead of saying, like so many WSOs do, hey, I made $2,000 in 72 hours, you know, and that load of nonsense, and you can too, right? I don't teach that at all. I teach a consistent sales process, and I've added to that over the last 2.5 years, a way of setting yourself up very quickly as an expert in your marketplace so that you're perceived as somebody people want to work for, and they come to you and they're ready to work with you before you ever talk to them, which makes the selling part of it really, really easy. I might have a friendly chat with somebody for an hour on the phone before they get signed up as a 4 or 5 figure client. That's all it takes, because they've moved through my marketing material. They've watched videos like this. They've heard me on the radio. They've read my Kindle reports. They know what they're getting into before they ever talk to me. And if it's not a fit, they've probably filtered themselves out beforehand. And this is something that you can work on. You don't even need me for that. You don't need me for that. You can do this yourself, but you have to be motivated. You have to want to do it. So we can take action, and we can take action all day and all night, but if it's the wrong action, all you'll do is tire yourself out running in the wrong direction. That's why it's important to have a roadmap, a proven roadmap. And that's what you can get from me and many other people. Again, it doesn't have to be my system. I just want to make you aware of what the real requirements for success with your own business are. Consistency and following a proper process, a consistent process. Because once it's consistent, you can measure it, and then you can manage it. You can make your changes. It's like a science experiment. You don't want to change 15 variables at once. You want to change one and see, how did that turn out? Did it help or did it hurt? So these are some things that you should be thinking about. Not, can I buy a done-for-you business and have somebody create something for me that I sort of own, but I don't really understand how it works, and then if it doesn't function or the provider disappears, you got nothing. You have to learn how to create your own business. And it's like, I have a large fear for newbies who buy into this done-for-you stuff without knowing anything about how this kind of product or service is created. That's extremely dangerous. You're basing your life, your revenue, on someone else. Why would you do that? That's lunacy as far as I'm concerned. You want to control that process and that money-making machine. I'm not saying you have to sort of parent over it morning, noon, and night. It doesn't have to consume your entire life, but you have to understand at least a little bit about what's going on. And so it frightens me when I see people saying, oh, I don't need to learn anything about web design, or I don't need to know anything about video editing, or I don't need to know anything about copywriting or sales. I can just outsource all that stuff. What kind of a business do you have, or will you have then if you try and do that? You're at the whim of all those other people, and if one of those people disappears, it's the link in the chain is gone. And now you've got a broken machine. Not good, not good. You need to understand at least a little bit about all these different things. I set up a donation page and a button with a new header in that for somebody who was going through a tough time. And I did it in an hour or so. And the guy said, wow, I can't believe you did this. You're so smart. And I looked and I went, you have been in internet marketing twice as long, for twice as many years as I have. And this is still a mystery to you? Well, it's no longer a mystery to me why you're not making any money. You haven't learned anything. How can you not learn anything? It's baffling to me. Don't be like that guy. Learn a little bit about this stuff so that when you do delegate it, which is fine, I delegate things, you at least know what they're doing and what they have to do. You may not know the best way to do it or every little detail about it, but you've got the gist. And you need that in order to create a business that produces money for you and doesn't just break down and leave you lying there going, oh my gosh, I spent $17,000 on this done-for-you business and it doesn't work, and now what? And the provider disappears or says, well, you know, hey, I gave you what you wanted. Sorry, it didn't work out. It's not their life. Protect your own life. Take responsibility for your own existence. So I want to finish up this inaugural Sales on Fireside Chat with an admonition to you to take that personal responsibility for your own success. Don't delegate it. Don't give it away to somebody else. They can't motivate you. They can't win it for you. They can't do it for you. You have to do it for yourself, or it's not going to happen. You will be the bum who has gone through 4 years of this over and over again and an embarrassment to your wife and children. Sorry, but there's the truth. Take responsibility for yourself. You got to proceed from this confident feeling in your gut. And every single successful person on this planet, that's what they've done. George Clooney was living in a freaking closet in a friend's apartment, and he kept at it, and then he won. This Coastal Carolina network that I'm helping build with 2 other technical partners, we struggle with it, we work with it every darn day. Nobody gave it to us. Nobody gave us one of the most exciting television shows in the local Wilmington area. Nobody said, here it is on a platter. Here's a WSO about how to go do that. We went and created that show. We found the sponsors. Took 11 meetings. 11. I thought for sure I could close 1 in 5, 6, 7. What the hell's going on? 11. Would you have given up? How many would you have given up before? But then bang, once you got it, you got it. You understand? You have to believe in your gut that you're going to win and just keep fighting. Some things are going to work, some things aren't going to work. But if you proceed down that path of consistent, intelligent effort, you will get to the success that you're seeking. And I really, I cannot motivate you. I just hope that something in the communication that I'm trying to give you right now sparks a response in you, that you say, you know what, he's right, I am going to do this. Because most of the people who I have met in the internet marketing field and choose not to work with, thank you very much, you guys scare the hell out of me, don't stick with something for more than 3 days. 3 days. What the hell can you get done in 3 days? I can get like a thing done in 3 days. I can get a site up or something like that. But really, find customers, find out what their problems are, price yourself accordingly, get out there, get copy that works, test stuff, mix it up, get a win. You're not going to do that in 3 days, especially not the first time. There is so much for you to figure out, so much, especially if you don't have the business background that I did. I came into this with 15 years of executive experience. managing companies, working with governments, large budgets. I know what to do. And I still, in my own opinion, haven't done a fantastic job. I'm not a gazillionaire. I'm just doing consistently. I've been at it 3 years. I'm still at it. Most people aren't. And so maybe you can learn something from me. I hope that you take the message that I'm trying to deliver to you. I don't want to deliver it in too mean of a way, but I do get frustrated with the internet marketers who chase after the latest thing, post, oh, what's working? Who cares what's working? Who cares what your competition is doing? The only person that matters to your success is you. And so get on that treadmill and start running. Thanks for watching.